Welcome to another episode of Asia Unscripted. Well, as you probably guessed, I am not in Asia. This is Medora, North Dakota. I almost said South Dakota. We'll talk a little bit about Medora and why people like to come here and why I'm here and my history with Medora. So we're going to walk around town, which is not going to take very long. It's not a very big town. So we're just going to walk around. I'll show you a few things. So across the street is a mini golf course. I believe this is the end of the course. The beginning of the course is on this side of the street, as you can see. So let's talk a little bit about Medora while we walk around Point to Point Park. So Point to Point Park has a lazy river. It also has a small wading pool. This just opened a few years ago. So it's just one of those family-friendly things that they... Oh, I got the zip line too. One of those family-friendly things that the Theodore Roosevelt Medora Foundation decided to build for families. So when most people think about North Dakota, they think about flat farmland, right? Flat farmland. Well, this obviously isn't flat farmland. So Medora is in western North Dakota, about 25 miles from the Montana border, and it's part of the Badlands. So the Badlands go all throughout North Dakota and South Dakota. The South Dakota Badlands are the more famous Badlands. They have Badlands National Park down there. Up here, we have Theodore Roosevelt National Park. Theodore Roosevelt spent a lot of time here in this part of North Dakota. And he said, because of his experience in North Dakota, that encouraged him to go into politics. And eventually he became our president, our youngest president, age 42. So a lot of things that happen in this town are revolve around Teddy Roosevelt. So Medora only has about 120 people year-round, but in the summer we could have thousands of people here in town. So this is part of Point to Point Park. So they got a splash pad. They have one of those bouncy dealies that kids can bounce on, and behind there is a pickleball court. So everything in town is sponsored by somebody. The foundation, I don't think they use a lot of their own money to build these things. So as you can see, different things are sponsored by different people. So across the way is the Badlands Motel. That is also owned by the foundation. So this is the entrance to the lazy river part of Point to Point Park. So we're going to cut through the hotel or the motel. Do you guys know the difference between a hotel and a motel? A lot of people don't. Motels generally just have one floor. Hotels have more than one. So Medora has I think one or two motels, or hotels, I should say, and a couple of motels. So this is the old style motel where you can just drive up to your room, park right in front of your room. Not a bad deal. And it's not open year-round. The Badlands Motel will close in September or October and then reopen again at the end of May. So the foundation makes most of their money from May until October, or really May until September. they put on a show called a Medora musical, and that's their bread and butter. And that usually runs from early June through early September.
Is it?
And it's a professionally put on show. It's not a, it's professionally done. I'm personally not into musicals, but I could appreciate the work that goes into it. So I got to see the musical once. Really, once is all I need. So this is the Medora Community Center, aka City Hall. So the police department is in here. Your city offices are in here. The Medora Police. There's only 3 officers. Well, 2 officers and a chief, which is a lot for a town of 120 people. Again, you know, most of their work happens this time of year. I don't know what they do in the winter. Probably just sit around and wait for people to speed through town. So, this is the main street in Medora. So if you go left, you can go to eastbound I-94. If you go right, that goes to westbound I-94. Years ago, the Greyhound bus actually came through here, and that's how I got to know Medora. Back 30 years ago or so, I used to ride the Greyhound across country, and I caught up with a driver. His name was Ken Benner, and he told the most awesome stories about North Dakota as we were passing through to various places. So he talked a little bit about Medora when we passed through here. So here's the county courthouse. Billings County only has about 1,000 people total. So pretty nice building for a small county like that. Across the street, you have a strip mall with your kind of your touristy stores and restaurants. So yeah, I came through Medora a few times. Ken happened to be the driver most of those times, so we formed a friendship. And you know, Ken, he had quite a career. Besides driving for Greyhound, he also was an editor at one of the newspapers in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and he also worked for the FCC inspecting radio stations across the country. So he was quite a busy guy. I'm not sure why he wanted to drive a bus, but he enjoyed it. And he did that for quite a few years. And him and I kept in touch for many years after that, until he passed just a few years ago. So if it wasn't for him and his stories about North Dakota and Medora and places like Salem, Sioux, and New Salem, North Dakota would really not be on my radar. So across the street is the school. Medora does have a school. It's a pretty nice school. They average about 55 students. That's it, 55. So school's about to start in about 2 weeks, I believe, or 1 or 2 weeks. There's only in the whole school district, there's only 2 schools, and they're both kindergarten through 8th grade. So once you get to high school, then you have to go to a high school in a neighboring district, which is interesting. Yeah, I got a bookstore. This is kind of the residential part of Medora. There's really not much to the place, to be honest. It's just your average tourist Old West town. So in Medora, there was a gentleman named Harold Schaefer. And Harold Schaefer worked for a company called the Gold Seal Company. And he came up with some items, some products that people still use today, like Mr. Bubbles. the bubbles for your bathtub. So he made a lot of money from Mr. Bubbles, a lot of money. And he came to Medora in the early 60s, and he saw the potential for Medora. In the 60s, Medora was run down like many small towns these days are. He went to the top of the cliff here, and he looked down, and he just saw the potential in the town. So with his millions, he started buying up buildings in town, and then restoring them to their former glory. And he did this for decades. And then eventually in 1986, he decided to form a foundation that would take care of Medora after he was gone. So he put $5 million down into the company or the foundation called the Theodore Roosevelt Medora Foundation. And ever since then, they've been pretty much the caretaker of Medora. They own most of the buildings in Medora and most of the businesses. So this church right here is the oldest Catholic church in western North Dakota. You can go in there anytime. It's open 24 hours a day. And yeah, nice little building. Yep, so just a block away, if I kept walking another block, I would be inside Theodore Roosevelt National Park. The headquarters is over there. So we're really close. Medora is one of those towns, I guess you call it a gateway town to Theodore Roosevelt National Park. Now, Theodore Roosevelt National Park is split into two parts. There's the north unit, which you have to drive like an hour from here to get to. And the part that's connected to Medora is the south unit, which is the more visited unit. Yeah, so we got more churches. So this is pretty much like your downtown Medora, which is hotels, restaurants, and food, pretty much. And a bank right here, and a post office. So yeah, Medora is famous for its musical, and it's going to be famous soon for something that's going to open in 2 years. The Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library is being built, and it will open in 2 years. So this is the Rough Riders Hotel, one of the original hotels in Medora, one of the hotels that Mr. Schaefer remodeled and made it into what it is today. The original hotel is this building you see in front of me. There was an addition back here, so this is the new addition of the hotel in the back. This has been a hotel for a long, long time, and the foundation owns this hotel. Across the street, there's a gift shop that's also owned by the foundation. Of course, it's your typical souvenir shop. So you can buy your t-shirts, your magnets, whatever. Yeah, you hear some music, I hope. Across the street is a building called the Show Hall, and they have free outdoor concerts in the summer. So you can grab a bite to eat. There's picnic tables over there. We'll go over there in just a second. There's picnic tables. There's a burger shop, and they also sell ice cream. So you can grab a burger, some fries, and just sit down and listen to some free music. In the show hall in the mornings, they have brunches every morning. 4 mornings a week, it's a gospel brunch. And then 3 mornings a week, they have a Teddy Roosevelt brunch. So I got a pizza place, buffet pizza place across the street. we're gonna keep walking. This is a little bit longer than my usual videos, but I don't know. Medora, I felt needs a video with some commentary. Can't complain too much. Free music. So the foundation owns all of that too. They also own this shooting gallery that we're going to walk by here in a moment. Shooting gallery is great because all you need is a quarter and you can start shooting pretty much. The shooting gallery is also owned by the foundation, and it's open during the day. The Old Town Hall Theater, they have magic shows every day, and they have the Teddy Roosevelt show. So a guy who really looks like and talks like Teddy Roosevelt. He's pretty famous in town, and he does the musical in the evening. He does this show in the afternoons. He leads hikes in the morning. So this guy is pretty busy. But his name is Joe, and Joe is one of the best Teddy Roosevelt impersonators you'll find. But yeah, so here's all about that. And I got a statue of Mr. Roosevelt. Kind of looks like the Teddy Roosevelt from the Night at the Museum movie, if you guys remember that. I think Robin Williams played Teddy in the movie. Yeah, so we're pretty much through 80% of the town. There's really not much here. So the foundation I was telling you about, they employ hundreds of people in the summer to run their gift shops and their restaurants and the musical and the golf course, and there's a lot of positions here. So if you're ever looking for a summer position here in the U.S., this is a great place to be. They have housing, they provide meals, they hire a lot of people from overseas. They hire people with J1 visas, H2B visas, and I believe F1 visas. So if you want to, if you're watching this from another country and you're college aged, yeah, come on down. Come work a spring and a summer down here. It's not the most exciting place in the world to be, but you'll make a lot of money and you'll meet a lot of new friends. Across the street is the gas station, convenience store. This is really the only gas station in town, so their prices are a little bit higher than if you were in Bismarck or Fargo or any other place. But they do have souvenirs in there and food, and it's the town's only liquor store. So it's pretty busy all the time. It's open year-round. This time of year it's open until 10 o'clock. I think in winter time it's open until 4 or 5 o'clock. So yeah, so we're pretty much at the edge of Medora. There isn't much to it left. So yeah, I remembered Medora from my bus trips back in the early 90s, and I decided to come check it out again. see what it's all about. Because the last time I only saw what I saw from the bus. And yeah, things haven't changed too much in 30 years here. They keep adding attractions for people, for families. So it's a good place to have a staycation, and not spend a lot of money. So as you can see up there, there's the Theodore Roosevelt National Park sign. This is the entrance to the park, at least to the south unit. And beyond the sign, Medora has campgrounds, so you can go camping here. There's a city park here. I don't know if you can see the chimney, called Chimney Park. There's a history behind that. But anyways, just kind of wanted to show you something different. Starting in a week or two, I'll be back in Asia, and we'll be going back to our Asian themed videos. But for now, from Medora, North Dakota, this is Jason with Asia Unscripted. You guys take care. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave some comments. Negative ones will get deleted. Have a great day.